Payoff Pitch Baseball proudly presents the 1994 Payoff Pitch Season Restart. Today's date, August 23rd, 1994, from the Astrodome. It's the New York Mets versus the Houston Astros. Hello, everybody. This is Robert from RJL 518, welcoming you to the Astrodome as we get back to our 1994 Payoff Pitch Season Restart. And, of course, I knew Steeler fan be the first one through the door in a big game tonight between the New York Mets and the Houston Astros. The New York Mets come into this game with 60 wins and 63 losses, only 3 games under 500. They're trying to get back to 500 if possible. And we take a look at the standings right now. You can see the Houston Astros have a nice little lead, pretty much a 1.5 game lead actually 2.5 game lead on Cincinnati. The Mets at 60 wins are still trying to maybe hope they can maybe make a late run, but I pretty much don't think they're going to get there for the season, but they will play hard today. And here they are. Here comes the people. Here comes Steeler fan. Here come Dave Little, Bears Den in the Astrodome for tonight's game between the Mets and the Astros. As we now get back to my normal presentation, it will be Eric Hillman going on the mound for the Mets, and Greg Swindell will be going for the Astros. So a very important game for both teams, actually. As I said, the Mets trying to get it up there. Trying to get it up there. They're trying to get back to 500, where Houston needs to stay ahead of Cincinnati as we're approaching the end of August, and you know the tougher games are coming up. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the New York Mets. It'll be Jose Viscayano batting first. David Segui will bat second. Kevin Mcreynolds will bat third. Bobby Bonilla bats fourth. Jeff Kent will bat fifth. Ryan Thompson will bat sixth. Jeremy Bernitz bats seventh. Kelly Stinnett will bat eighth. And Eric Hillman will be batting ninth defensively for the Astros. Bagwell is at first base. Biggio is at second. Caminetti is at third. Cedeno is at short. In left field is Gonzalez. Mooten is in right field. The center fielder is Finley. Service is the catcher. And on the mound for the Houston Astros tonight is Greg Swindell. In 1994, 8 wins, 9 losses, a 4.37 ERA. Averaged about 4.5 strikeouts, 2 walks, and about a homer, and a little bit more than a homer per 9 innings. Hello, Dave Little. You got here on time. And I say, yeah, I'm late. I was waiting for Bleacher Bums Gaming to finish his game exact from the sign off. D. Smith, welcome to the park. Mouse in the house, welcome to the park. Got a full crowd here. Please hit the like button on your way out the door if you cannot stay for the whole game. We got a good one today. So, and of course, the Mets are my team, but I will be playing as unbiased as possible. Yeah, right. Let's go to the top of the first inning for the Mets here as the fans still come into the Astrodome. Leading off for the Mets will be Jose Viscayano. He batted 280 with no home runs against left-handers. So we got 2 lefties on the mound tonight. As the fans are still piling in the Astrodome, it was pretty much a neutral park in 94, 1-51 for right-handed batters, 1-54 for left-handed batters for Wheelhouse. So let's get things started here on the top of the first. Here we go in this nice regular season game here between the Mets and the Astros. It starts off with a 7. That's an 84. And that's going to be a ground ball right to short. Coming over there will be Cedeno. He will get there and make the play for the first out. 1 away for the Mets, and the batter now will be David Segui. This is the first time we're showing the Mets in the regular season. I did do a preseason game with them, but as you know, I'm trying to get at least every team in baseball at least one showing. But coming up in September, where the playoff or the pennant race really heats up, I'm mostly going to be trying to stay with teams that are in the pennant race. Here's David Segui. He batted 190 with 5 homers against lefties. Here's the pitch from Swindell. That is a 5. That's an in play, a 43, and that's a ground ball right to third. Caminetti's got this one easily, and that will be the second out. Mets are not really that great a team. They are 3 games under 500 at the moment. So since the start of the restart, they're actually playing 500 because they were 3 games under 500 when the season was suspended. Here's Kevin Mcreynolds, pretty much the last guy left from those 80s teams of the Mets. Batted .279 with 1 homer against lefties. Here's the pitch. This is a patient off of Swindell, 92, and that's just going to be a grounder to short. Coming over for there will be Cedeno again, and he makes the play, and it's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for the Mets. A good start for the Astros, so nothing across, and we will go to the bottom half of the first. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. For the Houston Astros of 94, James Mooten bats first. Steve Finley will bat second. Craig Biggio will bat third. Jeff Bagwell fourth. Ken Caminetti will bat fifth. Luis Gonzalez will bat sixth. Scott Service bats seventh. Andujar Cedeno will bat eighth. And the pitcher, Greg Swindell, will bat ninth. Defensively for the Mets, David Seguia is at first base. Kent is at second base. Bonilla is at third. Shortstop is Viscayano. In left field is Mcreynolds. Thompson in center field. Bernitz is in right. The catcher is Stinnett. And on the mound for the New York Mets will be Eric Hillman. He only started about 6 games in 94, so I'm going to make this a start, but he had a rough time. No wins, 3 losses, a 7.79 ERA, about 5 strikeouts, 3 walks, and about 2.5 home runs per game. We can see Eric Hillman's, the wheelhouse is in a 5, so this could be a short outing for him. And I did not roll a fatigue rating for these, so Swindell is a 7 times 4, 28, and that's what he's going to have. So Swindell's fatigue rating will be here, and meanwhile, Hillman's only got a fatigue rating of 6 times 4 is 24, plus 4 is 28, so he's actually going to have the same fatigue rating as well. So they'll both face 28 batters at least before fatigue, or 6 runs, no matter which comes first. So let's get things going for the Astros here in the bottom of the first. James Mooten will lead it off. He bats .315 with a homer against lefties. So this is going to be, I don't know how well Hillman's going to do here, but he was the starting pitcher in this game. So here we go. And it starts off with a 7, and that's a ballpark. That's a 68, but that is going to be an in-play result. And James Mooten gets a 97, and that's just going to be a fly ball to left. Mcreynolds will get under this one, and he will make the catch for the first out. Move this up a little bit here so we can get the cards to be seen a little better here. There we go. I like my setup. I think I got a good one here. So 1 down for the Astros. Here comes Steve Finley. He batted .204 with a homer against lefties. Here's the pitch from Hillman. And that is a 4. That is an in-play, a 71. And that's a ground ball to short. Coming over there is going to be Viscayano. He has it. And he throws to first for the second out. So 2 outs for the Astros. And now the batter is Craig Biggio, Hall of Famer. Batted .294, no homers against lefties. Eric Hillman trying to get a 1-2-3 inning to start things off for the Mets. And here's the pitch. And this is a 6. That's a patient. It's a 20. And that's going to be a base hit for Craig Biggio. As he hits that one into right field. Coming over to make the play is Bernitz. He'll throw it in. And the Astros get a 2-out single. So the inning will continue for Hillman. And that brings up Jeff Bagwell. Batted .457 with 18 homers against left-handed pitching. So in 1994, so of course you know the reason why he was in the lineup in this game. Biggio on it first, Bagwell at the plate, 2 outs. Here's the pitch from Hillman. Can he get out the inning? That's a 3. That's going to be a defense, a 22, and a range play to center field. That's Thompson. His range is a C. He will not get it, and that's going to fall in for a hit. It's too far out of his reach. That actually not only falls out of his reach, it's over his head. That's going to be a double and a 3-bagger. So Bagwell's going to go to second. Craig Biggio will come in to score on Bagwell's double. And just like that, the Astros are up early, 1-0 here in the bottom of the first. And the fans of the Astrodome loving that. So an RBI double for Jeff Bagwell, and already the Astros jump out 1-0. Like, they are the better team here. I don't know if the Mets are going to pull this out, but we will see. The next batter for Houston is Ken Caminetti. He batted .266 with 5 homers against lefties. And already Eric Hillman gives up a run in the first. There's the pitch to Caminetti. And that's going to be a wheelhouse 11, and pow! This one is hit high. This one is hit deep to left field, and Mcreynolds is not even going to try for it. Ken Caminetti, that ball is gone. Home run for the Houston Astros. Not even a chance. As Caminetti blasts one right over left field. Mcreynolds didn't even go try for it. He knew that ball was hit out of here. Caminetti does the job for the Astros, and it's 3-0 Houston. And the batter will be Luis Gonzalez. And, of course, and it looks like that Stinnett's going to go talk to Eric Hillman for a minute. Yeah, I know, right? Better start than the Expos game. But then again, you were playing the Expos. You were playing a good team. This Mets team is really not in this class. 94 Mets were meh. They were a meh kind of team. They were 500. They were mediocre. So here's Luis Gonzalez, bats .267 with a homer, and still 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. That's going to be an 8. That's going to be a tough. And that is a 65, and Luis Gonzalez is going to fight that off, and that's going to be a base hit for Gonzalez as he hits that one into center field, and the inning is still not done. Gonzalez gets a single. He will hold it first. A steal rating of 5C will not run, and that will bring up Scott Service. He batted .254 with 2 home runs against the lefties. So here's the pitch to Service, and that is a 4. That's an in-play, a 28, and Service is going to have a base hit. He gets a single. It's a run rating of a 7 for Gonzalez. I don't have to pull the card. He goes to third. Service is on at first, and the Astros right now really look like the better team. As Service gets a base hit, moves Gonzalez over to third, and now we'll see Andujar Cedeno. And already action in the New York bullpen. They like to see if Hillman can get at least through 1 inning, but doesn't look like it right now. Cedeno batted .287, 3 homers against lefties. That's the 5th straight hit. And now the batter is Cedeno. Runners at first and third, 2 outs. And that is a 9. That's a tough. That's a 15, and he struck him out. So Hillman finally gets out of the jam. But not until the Astros scorch him for 3 runs on 5 hits. Already 3-0 Astros against the Mets. And I'm really not surprised. I am not surprised by what I'm seeing right now. So we'll see if the Mets can get some runs themselves. We go to the top of the second already, 3-0 Astros. I know Hillman may not survive is right. They've already got action in the bullpen for the Mets. The Mets are 3 games under 500. They come into the record 60-63. The Astros are 72-53. But you still got to play the games. Leading off for New York in the top of the second is a guy we're still paying, Bobby Bonilla. Bobby Bonilla Day. He batted .261 with 9 homers against lefty. Bobby Bo still collecting a paycheck from the Mets even today. And I don't think it ends until later in 2020-something. Boy, what a contract that was. Greg Swindell, the pitcher. Let's see what he does to Bobby Bo. That is a 7. That's a tough. That's a 70. And that is going to be a grounder to second base. Coming over there is Biggio. He will make the play for the first out. 1 down, and the batter will be Jeff Kent. Mets picked him up, and Kent was actually one of their better hitters. He batted .373 with 4 homers against left-handers. So right now, Swindell looks like he's doing well, but we'll see what happens here. Here's the pitch to Kent, and that is a 7. That's a tough. That's a 26, and that is a strikeout. 2 down. That is the first strikeout for Swindell. And now the batter will be Ryan Thompson. He batted .242 with 5 homers against lefties in '94. So here's the pitch. And that is a 6. That's an in-play 0-4. Thompson is going to get a belt one into the outfield. That one he hits into left center field. Coming over for that is going to be Finley. He'll throw it in. Thompson going for 2. He will make it. And that is a 2-out double for Ryan Thompson. So at least the Mets showing they have some life in this team. But still 2 outs. And it brings up this guy with this awesome baseball name, Jeremy Bernitz. Tell me that's not a great baseball name. He batted .111, though, with no homers against the lefties. So he got the call for the game tonight. 2 outs, Thompson on at second. Here's the pitch to Bernitz. And that is a 9. That's a tough. That is a 74, and that is a swing and a miss. He struck him out. And that retires his side. So no runs on a hit. Nothing there for the Mets in this game against the Astros. Definitely playing the superior team here. Bottom half of inning number 2, still 3-0 Houston. Eric Hillman hoping to have a better inning this time. And leading off for Houston is Greg Swindell, and he uses pitcher hitting card number 11. He can hit. This Astros team is definitely really just powerful. One of the reasons why I chose this game really was just to get the Mets on the board in a game with this season. Although some of my subs wanted to see more Mets games, I said they really are not the stars of this restart. So here's Hillman. Let's see what he gets here. That is going to be a 7. That's a ballpark. That's a 60. That's going to be in play. And a 72 is going to be a fly ball to center. Thompson will come over that. He will make the catch. 1 down. That will bring up James Mooten. Mooten flew out his last time up. He's 0 for 1. Here's the pitch from Hillman. And that is a tough. That's a 52. And that is a strikeout as Eric Hillman, a tough on a 2, and he actually gets it. A strikeout on Mooten, 2 down. So he comes away with another big K. And the batter is Finley. And Finley grounded out his last time up. 2 down. Here's the pitch to Finley. And that is an 8. That's a tough 65. And that is a ground ball right to short. Coming over there is Viscayano. He grabs it. He throws to first, gets Finley out by a step. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Hillman. Of course, he really faced the weak part of the order for Houston, but it counts. Whatever it is, it counts. 3 up, 3 down. Still 3-0 Astros. As we now go to the top of the 3rd. Maybe the Mets can do something with it, but we shall soon see. Leading off for the Mets is the catcher, Kelly Stinnett. Stinnett batted .229 with 2 homers against the lefties. So here's the pitch from Swindell, and that is going to be a 6. That's an in play. That's a 79 and a fly ball to center field. Finley will go ahead, take out a pack of gum. He puts it in his mouth, lays out his glove, blop, and the ball just falls into it. 1 out. That brings up the pitcher, Eric Hillman. He uses hitting card number 1. So he's just a typical pitcher that just can't hit nothing. Here's the pitch from Swindell. And that is a 3. That's a patient, and that's a rare play. So let's see what we got. So we got a rare play coming up. So let's roll the dice and see what we have. And that is a 3 and a 5. So a 35 rare play off the chart. And defense, re-roll all dice and refer to defense chart. All right, so let's see here. Player with an A range or 5E rating makes highlight reel catch. Otherwise, single range or 1 base error. So re-roll all dice and refer to defense chart. Okay, so now I got to find out what it is here. So now it's going to be an error check on the first base. So it's hit to Bagwell. His range is a C. It's an error. His rating actually is an error check. So his error rating is a 2. It's a 60, and he will make the play, I believe. Let's see here. Player with an A range or 5E rating makes highlight reel catch. Otherwise, single range or 1 base error. Nope, it's a 1 base error for Caminetti. It's a 1 base error because it says player with an A range or 5E makes highlight reel catch. Otherwise, and that was not Caminetti. Caminetti is a C. Bagwell's a C2. So that is an error on Caminetti, and that puts Hillman on first base. Wow. An E3. And I will give the Astros an E for effort. That was kind of wacky. And there's still 1 out. So now a runner on base for Viscayano. Of course, the pitcher not stealing. There's cards and dice. It's already not off to a great start. So here's the pitch to Viscayano. Runner on first for the Mets. Down 3-0 Astros here in the top of the 3rd. And that is going to be an in play. That's a 14. And that's going to be a base hit for Viscayano. It's a single. He hits that one. And it's a grounder up the middle. Runner on first advances 2 bases. So Hillman gets the 3rd. He will hold. And Viscayano's on at first. So maybe the error kind of messed up Swindell a little bit. And runners at first and 3rd with 1 out. And Rick Vaughn joins us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So 1 out here. We got runners at first and 3rd, 1 down in the top of the 3rd inning. In a very crucial game, more for the Astros than it is for the Mets. And going out to talk, Scott Service is going to talk to Swindell for a moment. And 1 out. And the batter is David Segui for the Mets. And he grounded out his last time up. So can the Mets get a run in on this very tough Astros team? And thank you, Rick Vaughn. Thank you. Runners at first, and the Astros are going to call infield back as it's early. Try to get the double play. Here's the pitch. And that is an 8. That's ballpark. 76. That's in play. And it's a 46. And that is going to be a ground ball to 3rd. So let's see. Segui's rating is a double play rating is a 6. Swindell is an 8. It is an 8. That's going to be a fielder's choice. The throw goes to 2nd. Viscayano's out. Segui is on first, but Hillman comes in to score. It's 3-1. So Segui does get the RBI, but there's now 2 outs, but he's still got to run in. And the batter now is K-Mac. Kevin Mcreynolds. Fielder's choice does score. Viscayano is out. And Segui on it first now. So there's Kevin Mcreynolds. McReynolds grounded out his last time up. Segui on it first. Swindell already. See if Swindell can rear back. Here's the pitch to McReynolds. And that is a wheelhouse. It's a 50. And it's not going to be enough. McReynolds got under it. He popped it up. He popped it up to short. Cedeno's calling for it. And it doesn't get any easier than that. But he popped this one up. Cedeno makes the catch. And the inning is over. And Swindell knows he got away with that, and Mcreynolds wants that pitch back. He knows he got Swindell knew he threw him a meatball, and Mcreynolds couldn't get it. Oh my. But the Mets do get a run on a hit and an error. So we go to the bottom of the third. The Astros still lead 3-1 here in this 1994 season restart. Everyone calls it a replay. It's not. This is a restart. And, remember, it's kind of difficult. Yeah, right, Steeler? Right, Matt? It's kind of difficult, to get rosters and such, for games that were never played. But I'm working it out so far. So here comes Eric Hillman to try to have another decent inning, but he's facing the part of the batting order that crushed him in the first. Here's Craig Biggio. Biggio singled his last time up. So here's the pitch, and that is a 5. That's a wheelhouse, 64, and that is going to be a fly ball to right. Coming under that one is Jeremy Bernitz. He will make the catch. And 1 out, and Hillman wipes his brow knowing he threw a meatball, but Biggio missed that one. Here's Bagwell. Bagwell hit a double his last time up. I don't know. I don't know. I don't hear any garbage cans, at least not yet, but they are leading. There might have been a few banging earlier. Here's the pitch to Bagwell. That's another wheelhouse, 77, and pow. This one is hit high. This one is hit deep. Yes, the garbage cans were banging. This one is gone. Home run, Jeff Bagwell. A 1-96 versus left-handed pitching on a wheelhouse. And Bagwell sends this one deep over right center field. That one's not coming back. And the Astros take a 4-1 lead on the big blast home run. So already Hillman's given up 2 homers in the game. And that will bring up Caminetti, who already hit a home run. Yes, Baseball Reference is awesome, but the problem with Baseball Reference, they give me rosters, but the problem is that for the game, never mind. I can't. That's what I'm doing. I am using the guys they use the most. Yes, that's how I'm choosing the rosters. However, when I come up on a transaction, like I had Deion Sanders on the Braves when I started this, and I didn't know he was traded to the Reds. So when I found that out, I closed his Braves card and opened up his Reds card. As soon as I find there's a difference in a trade, I go ahead and change it. So here's Caminetti, still 1 out, but now 4-1 Astros. And here is the pitch. It's another wheelhouse, 48, but this one's going to be a base hit for Caminetti. He just misses this one. That is a single for Caminetti. And Hillman right now is just throwing all over the place, just not where he wants the ball to be. And there is action in the New York bullpen, as I don't know how much longer they'll go with Hillman on the mound. It's already 4-1. And another runner on first. The batter is Gonzalez, and he hit a base hit his last time up. So man on first, Caminetti not stealing, of course. And here's the pitch from Hillman. That's a 10. That's an in play. That's an 80, and that's going to be a fly out to center field. And Thompson will get over to that one. He will make the catch. That's the second out. And that will bring up Scott's service. That's what I was doing. That's what I was doing, Tony. I know what I'm doing here. So we got Caminetti still at first base. Here's service. 2 outs. And here's the pitch from Hillman. And that is a 9. That's a tough, a 48. And Scott Service is going to get his second base hit. It's a single. A 48 just gets it on the tough. And that is a base hit. Caminetti's run rating is a 7. He will automatically go to third. Don't need to draw. And it's runners at first and third with 2 outs. Another hit for Service. And the batter will be Cedeno. Trust me, Tony, I got it covered. So runners at first and third, 2 outs. Here's Cedeno. He struck out his last time up. They would like to see if Hillman can just get through this inning. 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And that is a 9. That's a tough. It's a 16. And that is a strikeout. Cedeno strikes out for the second time in the game. And the inning is over. But 1 run comes in for the Astros on 3 hits. And it is now 4-1, Houston. And, of course, you know it's the end of the 3rd inning, so you know what that means, of course. It's time for a little commercial break for about a minute. So I will be right back, everyone. Bimo, be back. About ready to go to the top of the 4th inning in this game between the Mets and the Astros. I'd like to remind you about tomorrow's game in the 1994 restart. We got ourselves a pretty good match coming up tomorrow as we got the big hurt for the Chicago White Sox as they go to Memorial Stadium to take on the Baltimore Orioles. So a big game, a huge game in the American League tomorrow, White Sox versus Orioles, where you'll see the big hurt and you'll see some pretty good baseball in a very important game in the American League as the White Sox are trying to catch the Cleveland Indians. The Indians right now lead the American League Central, but not by much. Okay, and Baltimore still chasing the New York Yankees and holding off the Kansas City Royals in that division in the wild card. Remember, I'm using modern day playoffs, 2 wild cards, but they will go ahead and play a best of 3 instead of a 1 game. So White Sox versus Orioles tomorrow. Also want to recommend also that I'm doing the 1921 Cardinals replay National League as Bleacher Bums Gaming is doing the Yankees and the American League and Babe Ruth, and I decided to do the Cardinals, Rogers, Hornsby, and the National League. So, and what we'll do is when our leagues are done, we will play the World Series together. He will play the American League games. He will play the games against the American League when the American League is home. He will play the games when the National League is home. I will play the games. And, of course, I'm also doing expanded playoffs for that, too. All right, enough blabbering. Let's get back to baseball. Top of the 4th inning, Astros lead the Mets 4-1. Leading off for the Mets is Bobby Bonilla. And by the way, we just sent him another paycheck. Bobby Bonilla grounded out his last time up. Here's the pitch. And that is a 7. That's a tough. That is a 57. And Bobby Bonilla is going to get himself a base hit. He hits this one into right center field. That's going to be a good, clean single for Bobby Bo. And a good way to start off for the Mets. As he holds it first. And the batter will be Jeff Kent. Bobby Bo not running, not stealing at all. So here's Kent. Kent struck out his last time up. And Bobby Bonilla just went ahead and said, cha-ching, where's my next paycheck? Oh, that's next year on Bobby Bonilla Day. What a great contract that was for the Mets. Jeff Kent, the batter, runner on first. There's the pitch from Swindell. And that's going to be a 4. That's a defense, 39. Let's see. It's going to be a range check to second base. That's Biggio. His range is a C. It's a 39, and he's not going to get there. That's going to be a hit. Let's see what kind of hit it is. That is going to be a single. No, it's a single and a star. So it's a one-base single. So Bonilla will go to second. He will hold there. Kent holds it first, and the Mets are in business with runners at first and second and nobody out. So some action going on here for the Mets right now. And the batter will be Ryan Thompson. Thompson in a double his last time up. He's 1 for 1. Runners at first and second. Nobody out. Swindell gets the sign. Here's the pitch. And that's a 6. That's an in-play. 94. And I got some serious thunder outside my thing here. That's a fly ball to left field. Coming under that is going to be Gonzalez. He makes the catch and 1 out. Be prepared, people. I got thunder out there, which means I got lightning also. So if I lose you, I'll go ahead and restart as soon as I get anything. So be prepared. I got thunder and lightning outside here in South Florida, which we get usually a lot of these days. 1 man down. The runners had to hold. There was no way of moving Bobby Bonilla. And the batter will be Jeremy Bernitz. Bernitz struck out his last time up. And here's the pitch. And this is going to be an 8. This is ballpark 16. That's wheelhouse. Let's see. It's a 00. Oh, boy. Okay. And that means we got a rare play with bases. With runners on base, we got a rare. So let's see what we have here. With runners on base, and we draw another card. It's a 9. Let's see what we have. Pitcher develops minor injury and must be removed from the game. Relief pitcher misses next 2 games. Starting pitcher must rest for 4 days. So Greg Swindell develops a minor injury and must be removed from the game. So that means that Swindell is out of there. And although I don't have the Astros scheduled, I think for the rest of the, I don't believe I have him for the rest of the week. So Swindell comes out on the injury because I am doing injuries. So Swindell is gone. As it looks like maybe he pulled something. So he is done for the game. The Astros will have to go to the bullpen. And Bernitz is still on the mound. And coming on to pitch for Houston, and this is only the 4th inning. I would like to bring in a long reliever, but I want to be sure the Astros put their best pitcher out there. So coming on to pitch for Houston is going to be Todd Jones. He will take over. Let me just double check the thing here. So relief pitcher, starting pitcher must rest for 4 days. So, okay, so it doesn't matter. So he's going to miss the rest of it. Doesn't matter here because I don't think I have the Astros scheduled rest of the week. So Jeremy Bernitz will get another chance, but now here's Todd Jones. 5 wins, 2 losses, 2.72 ERA. He actually had 5 saves. His fatigue rating is going to be 6 plus 4, so it'll be a 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this fatigue rating is closed. So we're going to do it to Bernitz, as it looks like that Swindell got some tightness. So runners at first and second here, still 1 out. Tiger Fanny, I know, right? So runners at first and second, 1 out. They will do it again to Bernitz. Here's the pitch. It's a 3. It's another defense. It's a 13. And this one's going to be an error check to left field, and that's Gonzalez. His error rating is a 4. It's a 1 to 26. It's a 13, and Gonzalez is going to bobble it out there in the field. That is going to be a second error on the Astros. Let's see what kind of error this is. on the outfield, and that is a 3-base error on Gonzalez. Oh my, this game is tied. I'm sorry, no, it's not tied, but it's close. A 3-base error for Gonzalez. So Bonilla scores, Kent scores, Bernitz is on third. And just like that, it's now 4-3. 2 huge errors on the Astros. And the fans here are suddenly wondering what went wrong. So Gonzalez, that is an E7. He stays at third. Kent and Bonilla both come in. Unbelievable right now. And it is now 4-3. A 3-base error in the outfield. That's a serious ouch. And still 1 out. And here's Kelly Stinnett. And that is not Todd Jones's fault. Runner on third, 1 out. The Astros, 4-3 lead. They're with 1 out. They're going to call the infield in. They don't want the tying run to score. So infield in. And I'm going to get the chart ready. And here's the pitch. And that is a 7. That's a tough. It's a 79. And that one's a fly ball to center field. The net's going to make that. That's going to be caught by Finley. That's 2 outs. Bernitz has a run rating of 8. Let's see what kind of fly ball it is. It is a short fly ball. So Bernitz's rating would be a 6. And the center fielder, Finley, has an arm rating of 4. And they're going to send him home because why not? You got nothing to lose. So here comes Bernitz. They're going to go ahead and come in. And he have to be a 6. So we're going to have a play. So if it's a 6 or under, Bernitz is safe. Anything higher than an 8, it's out. Anything between 8 and 6, we go to the play at the plate. And that is a 10. And I believe he's out. Let's see here. If total is greater than both, the runner is out. Other runners advance 1 base. Yeah. And Finley comes up throwing, guns Bernitz down at the plate. He's out of there. He's out of there. Steve Finley guns him down. He guns him down and the inning is over, but why not? You're the Mets right now and you're under 500. You're trying to do something. And I think that's the correct thing to do. But he is out at the plate, and the side is retired as Bernitz is gunned down. But the Mets get 2 runs on 2 hits and a huge error as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning, now 4-3 Astros. The only problem with doing that, though, Eric Hillman was scheduled to bat in the bottom half, in the top of the 5th, and was scheduled to bat, and they might have pulled him out for a pinch hitter. In this case, though, they're going to let Hillman pitch for a little. They're going to go ahead and have Hillman pitch, but he's going to be on a short leash. So we go to the bottom of the 4th. It's Astros 4, Mets 3. And we're going to see, and Todd Jones is scheduled to bat. And because you need a pitcher to eat up innings, well, Todd Jones did his job. He's going to come out, and we're going to see a pinch hitter for the Astros. So coming on to pitch for pinch hit is going to be Sid. Well, he's a lefty. Hold on. Let me check my thing here. Coming on to pinch hit for the Astros will be Tony Eusebio. Eusebio bats .426 against the lefties. And he will bat against Hillman here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Some key errors. So here's the pitch to Eusebio. And that is a wheelhouse. It's a 68. He just missed it. He just missed a base hit. That's going to be a grounder to second. Up within his Kent. He throws to first, 1 out. He just missed it by 1. 1 down. Top of the batting order for Houston and James Mooten. Mooten is 0 for 2 against Hillman today. And that's a 4. That's an in play. That's a 91, and that's a fly ball to left. Coming under that one is Mcreynolds, is K-Mac. He makes the play, and that's a 2nd out. Top of the batting order has been having issues with Hillman. It's the middle of the order that Hillman's getting killed. Here's Finley. Finley is also 0 for 2. He's grounded out to short twice. And this is going to be Hillman's last inning no matter what. So 2 outs. Here's the pitch. That's an 8. That's a tough. And that is a 41. And he struck him out. Side retired. Eric Hillman does the job. Finley is out on strikes. And nothing across for the Astros. We got ourselves a ball game here suddenly. 2 Houston errors. Really doing the job. Still 4-3 Astros. We go to the top of the 5th inning. That's going to be it for Hillman. He is done. As the Mets will bring in a pinch hitter. He is due to bat first. So Hillman is out of there. And first we'll see who's going to pitch for the Astros before I bring in the pinch hitter. And coming on to pitch for Houston will be Mike Hampton. Of course, Mike Hampton would be a Met later, who would win the National League Championship with the Mets in 2000. Here's Mike Hampton, 2 wins, 1 loss, a 3.70 ERA. And he is a short reliever, so let's see how long his relief will last at least. And that's a 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right up here. So Mike Hampton comes on to pitch. Now the Mets will go ahead and bring a pinch hitter up to the plate. And and Mike Hampton's a lefty, so let's see who the Mets bring up. And that's going to be Rico Bronya, who will bat against Hampton. Even though Bronya is a lefty on lefty, Rico Bronya bats .385 against the left-handers. So Rico Bronya will bat against Hampton here to start the top of the 5th. 4-3. And here's the pitch from Hampton. And that is a 6. It's a tough. It's a 12. And that is a strikeout. 1 out. As Bronya goes down on strikes, as the 4-something average didn't matter. As he is done. Top of the batting order for the Mets. Here's Viscayano. He is 1 for 2. 1 out. The pitch from Hampton. And that's a 4. That's an in-play 10. That's going to be a base hit for Viscayano. That's a single. He hits this one into right field. Coming over it is Mooten. He will toss it in. And the Mets got the tying run on base. Second hit of the game for Viscayano. And the batter is David Segui. Viscayano not stealing. He's a 4F. He ain't going anywhere. And we're not going to do a hit and run. So here's Segui. Segui, however, grounded into a fielder's choice his last time up. Here's the pitch to Segui. That's an 8. That's a patient. It's a 24, and that's a walk. So now, right around Mike Hampton and the Astros in a little bit of trouble. Runners at first and second and 1 out. And the batter now is K-Mac. Oh, boy. Fans here at the Astrodome getting a little bit nervous. K-Mac, however, has grounded out and popped out. Mike Hampton gets the ball, goes ahead and spits on it, rubs it on his shirt. Might be doing a little bit of a splitter slash shine ball. And here's the pitch to Mcreynolds. That's an 8. That's another patient. It's a 48. And that's also a walk to Kevin Mcreynolds. So now Mike Hampton comes in and the bases, and he gets a base hit and walks 2 batters, bases loaded with 1 out. Second walk issued. And the batter is Bobby Bonilla. Bases loaded, 1 out. The Astros will have the infield in. I get the infield in chart ready. Just to be sure. 1 out. Fans here at Houston looking for Mike Hampton to make a pitch. Here's the pitch. And that's a 6. That's a tough 18 strikeout. Huge strikeout on Bobby Bonilla. 2 outs. Big K by Hampton. And now the batter is Kent. Now the infield is normal with 2 outs now. Bases juice. Mike Hampton gets the sign, trying to get out of this huge jam. Here's the pitch. It's a 7. It's a tough. It's a 23. He struck him out. Side retired. Mike Hampton walks 2 batters and strikes out the next 2. Side retired. The Astros are out of the jam. Whoa, and Hampton gets a big cheer from the crowd. And the Mets look back to the dugout wondering what maybe could have been on that play. So no runs on only 1 hit. We go to the bottom half of the 5th inning, still 4-3 Houston. The Mets will bring in a new pitcher. Let's see who they got here. And they're going to bring in normally I just take the best pitchers that are available because of the rosters and such. They're going to bring in Eric Gunn. They're going to you know what? Because I know how left-handers hit. They're going to bring in Josiah Manzanillo. He will be the next Mets pitcher. Josiah Manzanillo, 3 wins, 2 losses, 2.66 ERA. But he is a strikeout artist. And let's see how many batters he will face. 6 + 2 is 8 before fatigue. And it stays there as it is. So Josiah Manzanillo comes in for New York here in the bottom of the 5th. But he's got the heart of the order for Houston coming up in Craig Biggio. Biggio 1 for 2. Pitch on the way. This is a 10. It's a patient. It's a 14. And that is a walk. Biggio goes to first. Base on balls for Biggio. He doesn't get the lead. His steal rating's a 5. The dice is a 10. He will not lead. But then again, why would you try to steal when you got that guy coming up? Bagwell 2 for 2, doubled and homered. Here's the pitch to Bags. This is a 7. It's a tough. It's a 73. And that is a ground ball to second base. Bagwell's double play rating's an 8. Manzanillo's a 10. It's a 7. He tags the bag himself, then throws to first. A 4-3 double play. 2 outs. And Bagwell a little bit upset with himself, swinging at that pitch. It was a good pitch by Manzanillo. But that is a ground out. 2 down. And we'll bring up Caminetti. Caminetti got called for an error earlier. There are 2 errors for Houston in this game. A lot of people say to me that this game doesn't do many errors. Well, in the game in one of my games this morning between the Cardinals and the Cubs of the 1921 replay, I had a bet. The Cubs made 4 errors. It was horrible. So here's 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Caminetti from Manzanillo. This is a 5. That's a tough. It's a 15, and that is a K. Easy K. Side retired as Josiah Manzanillo does the job here. So 3 up and 3 down for the Astros. Still 4-3 Houston. We have ourselves a game here as we go to the top of the 6th. And Mike Hampton, this is his fatigue batter. So we'll see how long he stays out there. So he'll be on a short leash. Top of the 6th inning. Here's Ryan Thompson. He leads off for New York. Thompson is 1 for 2 with a double. So here's the pitch to Thompson from Hampton. This is a wheelhouse. It's an 0-4. Crack. This one is hit high. This one is hit deep to left center field. Going. It is gone. Goodbye. A wheelhouse 0-4. Ryan Thompson smacks this one clean over left center field fence. And all Finley and Gonzalez can do was watch it go by. Ryan Thompson ties the game for the Mets. And fans here in a little bit of a state of shock for that one. But Ryan Thompson did hit home runs. He had 5 of them over left-handed pitching. A home run for Thompson. The next batter is Jeremy Bernitz. Mike Hampton will stay in the game to pitch to Bernitz because Bernitz only hits 111 against lefties. And we're tied at 4. The Astros get out to a 3-0 lead. A huge error completely turned the game around. Now we got a tie game. And here's Bernitz. The pitch from Hampton. That's a 5. That's an in-play 65. That's a grounder to short. Cedeno has it. Throws to first. And we got 1 out. Now we'll bring up Kelly Stinnett. Manzanillo is due to hit right after Stinnett, so we'll see another pitcher from New York coming up. Mike Hampton has passed his fatigue, but he has not led a batter since then, so he continues to pitch. Here's the pitch to Stinnett, and that is a 7. That's a tough. It's a 54, and that's a ground ball to third. Caminetti's got it. He throws to first for the 2nd out. Pinch hitter coming up for Manzanillo as he has done his job. So I'll go ahead and put him in the back in the deck as he's out of there. And we got a lefty. And the Mets are going to bring up to pitch Jim Lindemann. He will bat. Jim Lindemann will bat here. He bats .254 against the lefties, .286 against the righties. So taking out Mike Hampton and putting somebody else in there, a right-hander, doesn't help. So Hampton will bat, but there are 2 outs. They're on the top of the 6th. Here's the pitch to Lindemann. That's a 10. That's a patient. It's a 34, and that is hit hard, but right back to Hampton, grounded to him. He's got it. Hampton throws to first, and that will end the inning. But a big home run blast by Ryan Thompson. One run on one hit. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. We're tied at 4. It's also going to be, I think that's also going to be it for Hampton. He is due to bat 4th. Before I take him out, we'll see what happens first with the lineup. Before I take him out. Bottom of the 6th inning, tied at 4. New pitcher coming up for the Mets. And it will be Eric Gunderson. Eric Gunderson will come up and pitch. No record, no ERA. He had a 0.00 ERA in 14 games, only pitched 9 innings. But he's still very capable of giving up a hit. So Eric Gunderson will pitch for the Mets. And it is a 5 - 4, so it's going to be a 7 for fatigue for him. And leading off for the Astros is Luis Gonzalez. Gonzalez is 1 for 2. And here's the pitch from Gunderson to start the inning. And that is a 5. That's a patient. It's a 20, and that is a walk. So Gonzalez starts with a base on balls. And that will bring up Scott Service. Service having a great game tonight. 2 for 2, 2 singles. He's been doing it. Gonzalez, a steal rating of 5. It is, but he's a C. Let me check Stinnett's arm. It's a 3. So a C3 would be normal. I'm not going to send Gonzalez. And I'll let Service bat. He seems to be having a hot hand. Gonzalez on it first. Here's the pitch to Service. That's a 5. That's a patient. It's a 20. And that is another walk given up by Eric Gunderson. He walks the first 2 batters. And now the Astros got something going on here. Kelly Stinnett's going to go talk to Gunderson for a moment. Runners at first and second, nobody out. The batter is Andujar Cedeno. And because they got runners on base, Mike Hampton's definitely coming out. He will not return. So it means I'll have to get a pinch hitter for the Astros and a new pitcher. So Andujar Cedeno, he has struck out twice. Here's the pitch from Gunderson. And that's an 11. That's a defense. An 88. That should be all right. That's a range check to the shortstop. That ball was hit to Viscayano. His range is a C, and he will make the play. So let's see what kind of play it is. That is a ground ball plus advance, which means his only play is to first. So Gonzalez goes to third. Service goes to second. But Cedeno was out, 1 down. So it's a fielder's choice, but the runners move up, and we'll see a pinch hitter for the Astros against Gunderson. And they're going to bring up Mike Felder. He will bat for Houston. Both benches are getting a little bit thin, and we're only in the 6th inning. Mike Felder, the batter, runners at second and third. I don't think you load the bases in. So I don't think you want to walk him to load the bases and pitch to James Mooten. And Mooten against lefties bats better than Felder. So they're going to pitch to Felder, but the infield will be in. So 1 out, infield in to Felder. Here's the pitch from Gunderson. That's a 6. That's a tough 24. 24. Pow! This one is hit deep into the outfield. That is a hard hit ball, and that is hit all the way to left center field. That's going to roll all the way into the corner. Felder rounding second. He's going to try for third. No way. It's not in time. Mike Felder has a pinch hitting triple. On a tough 24 versus left-handers, a 24-27 is a triple. Felder puts the Astros ahead. Oh my, and the fans are back in it. Six to 4 Astros on a pinch hit triple by Mike Felder. Clears the bases. And still 1 out. That'll be it for Gunderson. They can't let him go any further after that. So the Mets go back to the bullpen. And no, Doc Gooden is not on this 25-man roster. The Mets will bring in Roger Mason. Roger Mason will pitch for New York. 2 wins, 4 losses, 3.51 ERA. And he will take over. Still 1 out. Runner on third base, but now 6 to 4 Houston. Pinch hit triple by Felder. And usually when I bring in a pinch hitter, they always seem to come up with a hit or something. So here's Mason with 1 out. The infield is still in. And the batter is Steve Finley. As they'll keep the infield in, no more runs to score. Here's the pitch to Finley. That's an 8. That's an in-play 74. And that's a fly ball to center field. Coming on to this one is going to be Thompson. Was it Finley or was it Mooten? No, I'm sorry, not Finley. That's Mooten. James Mooten, the batter. My bad, not Finley. I'll keep the hit, though. Doesn't matter. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. 74. No, it's still a fly ball to center field anyway. So James Mooten was the batter. So it's still, so he's out anyway. So 2 outs. Felder's run rating's a 7. Let's see what kind of fly ball it is. That is a short fly ball. So he would have it would be a 5 against Thompson's arm rating of a 6. They will hold him at third. They will not send him and keep it 6 to 4. Now the batter is Steve Finley with 2 outs. I think I've been watching too much Bleacher Bums Gaming. I heard I watched and he had the Yankees back twice again. Not the first time he's done that, but that's okay. I thought it was cool. We all make these mistakes in these games, all trying to keep track of everything. Still 6 to 4, but now Finley is the batter with 2 outs. Roger Mason will pitch. Now the infield is normal. And this is a 6. It's a tough. It's a 42. And that's going to be a base hit for Finley. That's a single. He gets the hit. Felder comes in and trots home to score easy. And the Astros are now up 7 to 4. That's his first base hit of the game. Now 7 to 4 Astros. As they're now putting the hurt on the Mets here in the bottom of the 6th. And the batter now is Eusebio. Roger Mason trying to get out this inning now with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. That's a 5. That's an in-play 35. And another single for Craig Biggio. This one's a base hit. Finley's run rating is at 8. I don't have to draw the card. He automatically goes to third. And runners at first and third with 2 outs. As Biggio gets a single now. And the batter now is Bagwell. The Mets were 55 and at the end of when the season was canceled, the Mets were 3 games under 500 for a reason. This was not a good Mets team. It was meh. It was a meh Mets team. They really were not that good. They were already about 19 games behind the Expos in the National League East. They really much had no chance to get to the playoffs. Runners at first and third, 2 outs. And this just shows you how good the Astros were. Who knows how far this team will go in my restart. Bagwell, the batter. Runners at first and third, 2 outs. We got a 6. That's a tough. It's a 67. And this one will end the inning. That's a grounder to second base. Coming over to this one is Kent. He makes the throw. And the inning comes to an end. 3 runs for the Astros on 2 hits. No, I'm sorry, 3 hits and a couple of walks. 6 innings in the books. Astros 7, Mets 4. Timeout. I know Steeler fans got to be a little happy with this now. As we now go to the top of the 7th inning, remember we have the 7th inning stretch and the 10-minute ticker to see how the rest of the league is going. Very important to check out the rest of the standings out there. Don't remember, I also have the White Sox and the Orioles tomorrow on Payoff Pitch Baseball. And I will continue. I'll try it now that Anthony at Bleacher Bums Gaming did another game. I go back to 2 games back, 2 games behind him. So now I got to play 2 games to catch up again. But I'll do it. I just continue doing it with the in the non-presidential presentation style. Top of the 7th inning. Let's see who the Astros are going to have out there to pitch. And they're going to bring in Ross Powell. Ross Powell, actually a pretty good lefty for the Astros. No wins, no losses, but a 1.23 ERA. In a way, kind of like Gunderson in a way. But his toughs are in the different positions here. So the top of the 7th inning, Ross Powell, the new Houston pitcher. And it's Jose Viscayano leading off for New York. He's 2 for 3, singled twice. By the way, beer sales will stop after the 7th inning stretch. So last call for beer. Last call for beer at the Astrodome. Here's the pitch to Viscayano. That's a 10. That's going to be an in-play of 70. And that is a ground ball to second base. Coming over there is Biggio. Takes a step to his right, pumps the ball, throws it, and that's 1 out. Here's David Segui. Segui is 0 for 2, walked, fielder's choice, and grounded out. There's the pitch. That's a 7. That's a tough. It's a 60. And that is going to be another ground ball to second base. Coming over there again is Biggio. He throws the first, 2 outs. Dave Little drank all the beer. You do know that is a capital offense, Dave Little. You drank all the beer. You do know that you'll now be scheduled for termination. You know that, right? You might just want to, basically run. Hear ye, hear ye. Dave Little drank all the beer. You guys know what must be done. 2 outs. Here's K-Mac. K-Mac is 0 for 2. He walked his last time up. Here's the pitch from Powell. This is a 10. That's an in play. It's a 34. He will just miss that one. He pops it up behind the plate. Service is going to get behind it here. He will make the catch. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Ross Powell. Runs to the bathroom. Yeah, I'm sure you do. We're at the 7th inning stretch. The Astros lead the Mets 7-4. We will be right back after this word from your local car dealer, whoever that might be. This break up. I think I want to collect. It is now time for the 10-minute ticker to see how the rest of the league went here in our games. It's going to be easier for me if I go ahead and hold on to this and just roll the dice. And we'll see what we get here. So, we start with Kansas City at the Yankees. Both teams are an A. So we use that one here. That's a 7, and that's a win for the Yankees as the Yankees win that game 4-0. No, wait a minute. Kansas City was the visiting team. I'm sorry. I can't wait till he fixes the chart. That is a win for the Yankees. Yes, that is a 7. It is a win for the Yankees to win the game 4-0 over Kansas City. So a win for the Yankees to beat the Royals. So if D. Smith is listening, I'm sorry about that. The White Sox in Baltimore will have this game tomorrow. Both teams are in A. White Sox are visitors. That's a 4. That's a win for the White Sox. They win that game 3-1 as they beat the Orioles. So Baltimore will lose a game to the Yankees in the AL East. Cleveland at Oakland. Oakland is a D. And that is a 10, and Cleveland gets the win. They win 7-3 over the Athletics. Oakland still remember, the American League West is a mess. Every team is below 500, but they are very close to each other. So anybody can still win the American League West and still get in the playoffs, and it's very possible you might have a losing record in the playoffs. Detroit takes on Minnesota. Both teams are a C. That's an 8, and that's going to be a win for Detroit's at Detroit. Detroit. Detroit's in Minnesota, and that is a win for Minnesota. Minnesota wins that game 8-4. Milwaukee's at California. Important game actually for the Angels. Milwaukee's a C. California was an F. They were a horrible team. And that is a 7, and that is a win for the Brewers. They win that game 7-5. Texas plays Boston. Important game for the Rangers since they still lead that division. And since Oakland just lost, Texas can get a game on them. Texas at Boston. Texas is a D. Boston's a C. That is a 4, and that is a win for the Rangers. They beat the Boston Red Sox 6-4. They retake first place in the American League West. Toronto and Seattle, the Mariners still chasing the Rangers. And Toronto is a C. Mariners are a D. That is a 5. That is a win for the Jays. They win that game 1-0. Now we go to the National League. Atlanta takes on the Cubs. Chicago still chasing the Expos. Actually, Atlanta still chasing the Expos. Atlanta is an A, and the Cubs are a D. The Cubs are awful. And that is an 8. And that is a win for the Cubs. They win that game 8-6. Chicago gives the Braves a loss, so the Expos will have a chance to get a game ahead of them. The Dodgers play the Pirates. Los Angeles is at Pittsburgh. Both teams are a C. That's an 8. That's a win for the Pirates. Pirates win that game 4-3. Montreal, Colorado. The Expos are an A. The Rockies are a D. That is a 3, and that is a win for the Expos 9-3. So they get a game ahead of the Braves. Mets and Houston we're playing. Philadelphia, Cincinnati. This is the game that Steeler fan waiting to see. Philadelphia is at Cincinnati. Philadelphia is a C, and Cincinnati is an A. That is a win for the Phillies. They get a win. Phillies get the win. They win that game 9-6. So now if the Astros hold on, they will get a game ahead of the Reds. San Diego, Florida. Padres are an F. Florida is a C. That is a win for the Padres. They win that game 8-7. As the Marlins actually were playing pretty well in this restart. Finally, San Francisco at St. Louis. Both teams are rated a C. San Francisco still chasing the Dodgers. That's a 4, and that is a win for the Giants as they beat the Cardinals 9-4. And that is it for the 10-minute ticker. The way he does with season quick results is he actually takes home and away games, home and win losses and wins into effect. That's why he did it this way. At first, it was underdog. It was favored versus underdog. Now he does it, wins and losses overall with homes and wins. Pretty much how he did it, I think, is actually better. He just needs to change the layout a bit. Anyway, that's a 10-minute ticker. I hope your team that you were hoping to do did well. And if it didn't, there's always tomorrow. Let's get back to baseball. Bottom half of the 7th inning, the Astros lead 7-4. Roger Mason comes out for the Mets. I never did his fatigue rating. So that's going to be 2. So his short, so it's 8 minus. So it actually was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He has a few batters left before you have to worry about him. Leading off for the Astros in the bottom of the 7th inning will be Ken Caminiti against Mason. And here we go. Caminiti. This is a 7. That's a tough. It's an 18, and that is a strikeout. 1 away. Caminiti goes down on strikes. A nice slider by Roger Mason. Second time Caminiti has struck out. Here's Luis Gonzalez. Gonzalez is 1 for 3. That's an 11. That's a defense, 67. A range check to third. Bobby Bonilla, his range is a B. He will make the great play. Ball bounces a little bit over his head, but he leaps and gets it. He throws to first, and Gonzalez is out. What a play by Bobby Bo. Earns a little bit of that paycheck we send him every year. Still. Boy, that's just annoying. 2 men down for Scott Service, and he's having a great night. He's 2 for 2. 2 singles and a walk. What do you think about that Bobby Bo contract there, Tony? What do you think about that contract? We're still paying for it. Bobby Bonilla Day. When does that contract end? 2027 or something? I have no idea. Here's Service. That is a 10. That's a patient. It's a 12. And that's going to be a base hit for Scott Service, and it's actually going to be a little bit more than that. That ball actually goes into left field, and he's going to go, and Service is going to go for 2. He's having a career night. That's a double for Service. His 3rd hit of the game, he's 3 for 3 with a walk. Scott Service having a career night for Houston. Fans are giving him a little cheer. Here's Andujar Cedeno. He is 0 for 3, though. Service on at second. What a great defensive play by Viscayano. Hey, he had a range of B. He actually wasn't that bad at the position. Here's the pitch to Cedeno. That's a 4. That's ballpark 48. And that's in the wheelhouse. 41. Powell. And that's a base hit for Cedeno. It's a single. Service with a run rating of 7. He will score from second. Cedeno holds it first. It's now 8-4 Astros. And that's Cedeno's first hit of the night. Eight to 4 Houston. Andujar Cedeno on at first base. Ross Powell is scheduled to bat. But they're going to bring, let's see, do I want to bring in a pinch hitter? Because Houston's bench is getting thin. They only have 2 batters left. And what inning are about to go to? The 8th? Yeah, no, you bring in a pinch hitter. Ross Powell come out of the game. He did his job. So he is done. And coming up against Roger Mason is going to be Sid Bream. Bream will bat for Houston. He batted .364 against righties. So he will go up against Mason. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th, already a run in for the Astros. Here's the pitch to Bream. That is a wheelhouse, but it's a 94, and that's just going to be a lazy fly ball to right. Jeremy Bernitz will get under this one. He will make the catch, and the inning is over. The Astros do get a run on 2 hits, and they lead 8-4. I'm not really tracking stats. The only thing I'm tracking is just wins and losses. I'm not keeping stats, really. I just want to play the games, have wins and losses, playoffs, and have fun. That's all. I'm not really tracking stats. For the Rogers-Hornsby replay, I am tracking him at least. I am keeping up to date on his stats. Roger Hornsby in my 1921 National League replay that coincides with Bleacher Bums Gaming Yankees replay for 1921. I'm not really keeping the stats. Just record seasons only. I really don't care. Doesn't really matter. I'm just having fun playing the games. I wanted this system this season to be done without any AI, nothing. We go to the top of the 8th inning. Astros lead the Mets 8-4. We'll see a new pitcher for Houston. And it's going to be Dave Veers. 3 wins, 3 losses, a 2.41 ERA, short fatigue. Should make it to the end of the game, I think. That's a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He might make it to the end of the game. But with an 8-4 lead, it looks pretty good. Frank Thomas plays tomorrow. That is good. That's good, Rick. That's good. No Nugenics. Yep. And trust me, he's the big hurt. So top of the 8th, here's Bobby Bowe. And then we just sent another paycheck in the mail. So nobody out to start the top of the 8th. Here's the pitch to Bonilla. This is a 5. It's an in play. It's a 50. And that's going to be a ground ball to third. Coming over there is Caminetti. He throws to first, 1 out. And that will bring up Jeff Kent. Kent doubled and struck out twice. He's 1 for 3. Here's the pitch. And this is a 5. That's an in-play 96. That's a fly ball to left. Gonzalez will get there. 2 down. Yeah, you wish it was. Because, easy out. I know, right? 2 down. The batter is Ryan Thompson. He's actually having the best night. 2 for 3, a double and a home run. Here's the pitch to Thompson. That's a wheelhouse. That's a 30. Crack. And this one is hit hard again. Ryan Thompson, this is down the right field line, and that is gone. Home run. Ryan Thompson hits his 2nd homer of the game. Wheelhouse and a 30 versus right-handed batters. Too bad there just were not any base runners. It's 8-5. Ryan Thompson blasts his 2nd homer. Just too bad there were no base runners on base. Oh, my. Dave Veers gives up a homer. He gave up 4 in 1994. Here's Jeremy Bernitz. He's the next batter with 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. Here's the pitch. That's an 8. That's an in play, and it's a 0-0. It's a rare play. So I checked the rare play chart. Let's see what we get. 5, 3, 53. Defense. Reroll all dice and revert a defense chart. Player with an A range or 5E rating makes highlight reel catch. Well, here's what we got to find out where the ball is. So it's a defense. It's hit to the shortstop, which is Cedeno. He has a D range. He has a D range. So he does not have a D or range or a 5 error rating. So that is going to be let's see what, see, hold on this here. I keep this here. Defense will all dice refer to defense chart. Player with an A range or 5 makes higher beat check. Otherwise, single and 1 base error. So I got to re-roll again. That's a 21. And that's going to be a base hit. That is a base hit for Bernitz as it gets by Cedeno. That's a single for Bernitz as it gets by him. No injury, not on that one. So a base hit, the inning continues as Bernitz gets one, and that's his first base hit of the game. The batter now is Kelly Stinnett, and now a runner on first with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. That's another wheelhouse, 42, but that's not going to do it. It's a ground ball to first. Bags has got it. He'll take it himself, tag the bag, and the inning is over. A wheelhouse, but a 42 for Stinnett will not cut it in the wheelhouse for him. And that retires the side. But the Mets get a run on 2 hits. Bottom of the 8th inning coming up, still 8-5. Did the Tigers beat the Twins? The answer to your question is no. Minnesota won that game 8-4. So Roger Mason will come on and pitch for New York. I think he's reached his fatigue level, and he has. So that's going to be it for Mason. He's out. The Mets, however, is going to bring in a pitcher that can pitch for a quick inning because you're going to see a pinch hitter in the top of the 9th inning. Check the newspaper tomorrow. Well, coming on to pitch for the Mets is going to be, even though it's not a safe situation, I'm going to put John Franco there on the field. 1 win, 4 losses, 2.70 ERA. John Franco will get a play to try to keep it at 8-5, if anything, to have the Mets have a chance in the top of the 9th. However, he faces the top of the lineup for Houston and James Mooten, who's 0 for 4, 3 flyouts and a strikeout. So bottom of the 8th inning for Houston. Here's the pitch from Franco. And that is a 10. That's a tough. That's a 56. And that is a swing and a miss. He struck him out. So James Mooten goes 0 for 5 tonight. And that will bring up Finley. Finley singled his last time up. He's 1 for 4. Here's the pitch. That's a 3. That's an in play. That's a 60. And that's a fly ball to the left. Mcreynolds will get under that one. He puts it away for the 2nd out. Here's Craig Biggio. 2 singles, a walk, and a flyout. 2 outs. Franco trying to keep it at 8-5 for the Mets to have a shot in the top of the 9th. There's the pitch. It's a 9. It's a defense. It's 11. And that's going to be an error check to second base. Kent's error rating is a 2. That's an 11. And that is going to be an error on Jeff Kent. And that is a 1-base error as Kent bobbled the ball trying to get it to first. Biggio safe at first. And that's the first error on the Mets. So they have an error. And that is an 4. And here's Bagwell. And Bagwell, 2 for 4, a double, a homer, and grounded out twice. 2 outs. Bagwell could go ahead and blast this one and really put it out. John Franco pitching to Bagwell. Here's the pitch. It's a 10. It's a tough. It's an 0-1. He struck him out. Swing and a miss. Bagwell took a swing, and I actually felt the air here. But that is a strikeout as John Franco does the job to keep it at 8-5. So no runs, no hits, 1 error. And we now come to the 9th inning, and everybody here knows what happens when I play the 9th inning. It never goes smoothly for anybody. 8 innings in the books. Astros 8, Mets 5. Top of the 9th. I would like to say to all my subscribers, thank you for coming to see me. Remember, of course, we got real baseball starting this week. So, guys, I tell you, I know you like watching this, but go watch some real baseball because I'm going to do the same thing. I'm probably going to have it on my TV in the background or something. Real baseball this week starts. The Mets, the Yankees, the Astros, the Nationals, the Red Sox, everybody. Real baseball this week. May not be what we're used to, but it should be really interesting to watch. John Franco comes out as he was only there to pitch because the Mets have to go with a pinch hitter. Dave Veers will continue to pitch for Houston. Try to get the game. He's not their closer. John Hudek is the Houston closer. They'll bring him in if necessary. And it's going to be John Cangelosi pitch hitting for New York. He'll lead off the top of the 9th. He bats .270 against the righties. So here we go. Top of the 9th. Veers against Cangelosi. I usually know what happens when I bring in a pinch hitter. Here's the pitch. That's a 4. That's an in-play 82. And next time it won't matter. That's a ground ball to short. Cedeno's got it. Throws to first. 1 out. Fans here on their feet at the Dome. Top of the batting order now for the Mets and Jose Viscayano. Here's the pitch. It's a 5. That's an in-play 48. And that one is going to be popped up in the infield. Cedeno's calling for it. He will get it. Pop out to short. 2 down. And the last chance for the Mets is David Segui. Dave Veers looking to finish this game off and give the Astros a big win, 8-5. And to remind you there, Steeler fan, Cincinnati did lose to Philly. So a win here for the Astros gets them a game ahead. Puts them an extra game ahead. Here's the pitch to Segui. That's a 7. It's a tough. It's a 52. And a lazy fly ball to right. Coming under it is James Mooten. He will see it, puts his glove out, block, and the ball falls in there, and that will do it. The Houston Astros come away with an 8-5 win over the New York Mets, and actually a more exciting game than I thought it was going to be. Couple of key errors for the Astros actually kept the Mets in this game. Let me get your line score here. Eight, 11, 13, 2 errors. Mets 5 runs. 4, 5, 6, 8. For the Houston Astros, 8 runs, 13 hits, 2 errors. For the New York Mets, 5 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error. Greg Swindell does get the win. Hillman gets the loss. And I don't think there is no save opportunity on this one. Well, that's it here from the Astrodome. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Tomorrow we got the White Sox and the Orioles. I also will be trying to get 2 games of the 1921 replay in tomorrow, since BBG decided to play another game, so I'm back to 2 games behind them. Of course, those are being done non-presentation style like this. But guys, I hope you enjoyed it. So Cards and Dice, D. Smith, Rick Vaughn, Steeler fan, Tribe fan, Hammer Time, Mouse in the House, Dave Little. Thanks to all of you for joining me here at the Astrodome. For those of you who can see me tomorrow, we'll catch in. Until then, everybody live long and prosper. Drive home safely. Final score here, Astros 8, Mets 5. See you guys tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody.